Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? I want to do that first. Everyone hear me? Anybody hear me? Rich, Hughes, Bruce, Edward, Joseph? Oh, good. Okay, Joseph. That'll work. Um, okay, listen, here's what I want to do today. Oh, good. Uh, what I really want to do, and to some extent, hey, Mark, the hey, Bruce, wrote Rohit, want to try to get it right. Mr. Shinabi, Turkey Vulture. Okay. Yeah. All right. What I was thinking of, I was thinking, well, I mean, there's so many things that you can get screwed with in a watch deal. Hey, Eric, that I thought, well, what was one of the things that I didn't talk about? I don't. I think I may have mentioned it in passing, but one of the things that especially on an individual uh, kind of transaction, I have done individual transactions. I mean, I bought a watch from individual on a couple of different occasions. They were all local. I mean, by local, they were within the United States, and I was able to find out where the person was actually uh, lived in case I had to pay him a visit. Anyway, the uh, the ones that I had here in the U.S. or locally, it's very different from one overseas. Whether you're in Europe or Asia and you're buying it from an American or a Canadian, or the other way around. If you're in the U.S. and you're dealing with Asia or Canada or something like that, with an individual. Hi, Javier, and a happy Father's Day to you too. The the one of the things that happened. This happened, I think, on two different occasions, and I backed out of both of them. Hey, SL. Uh, and that was that when I was negotiating with the individual, they said they had to they were leaving, they were going on vacation, and boy, I tell you, that was something. When I hear that, hey, Crappy, when I hear that, hey, Clyde, how you doing, man? When I hear that, oh, I'm going on vacation tomorrow, especially. It's like a couple things happen. Is that one? If you make oh, well, I better hurry up and make the deal, and then you make the deal, and you don't hear from him. You say, well, he's on vacation. I'll hear back later. You're not going to hear back at all. All right. You just, it's sort of like put little wings on your money and watch it fly away. And one of those things. That was one of the things. Hey, David. Um, and so I was thinking, are things like that are like clues, or at least no, they're clues to me. Now, maybe sometimes you may end up dealing with somebody who's really going on vacation, and you sort of ran into them or contacted them the day before they left. I mean, that's possible. But when I saw that in a pattern, a couple different people did the same thing. I was a little worried about. Hey, Par, how's it going, Jerome? James. Uh, I started to, there's a saying that their socks squeak, and by that I mean there's something wrong. You don't know quite what it is, but if their socks squeak, walk away, run away. Hey, Luca. Um, so here's what I wanted to ask you guys. Um, is there what are some clues like that are, I mean, that make you a little nervous? I mean, that's like something's going on, and you don't want to get burned by it. Anybody, everybody, anything you can think of that when in a transaction that um, you're concerned about. Anyone, everyone. I'm not going to give a wristwatch check until somebody comes up with something. How is that? Oops, whoops. Hey, Hatsi. Um, what would be a thing that any watch that's in Eastern Europe? Well, I tell you, I got some excellent watches that came from the Ukraine. They came from a dealer I met on 47th Street, and the watches I got were both excellent, and the deal I got was excellent too. So, but that can happen. Um, How's yours online? I've been lucky. You know, Hughes, being lucky beats everything. I think I've been pretty lucky too, and I've been more careful. My first transaction, I thought, God, I'll never see my money again, but it worked out okay. Um, okay, now don't pick on different countries, okay? Jamie, how you doing? Rye, the worst deal I've had are buying from dealers, new from dealers. Okay, that can be you can get burned doing that too. Jerome de Marseille, I care too much about Frankenstein. Well, yeah, I know what you mean by that. In other words, that somebody has cobbled something together by a bunch of parts and stuff. Yeah, that can happen, and you got to watch out for that. Buying from Italian dealers on Chrono 24. Now, it's like, if you're an Italian and they say, well, the worst thing that I could buy from would be an American who lives in my town, who lives in Connecticut or something like that. Um, has anybody been burned by? I had a bad experience with an Italian quote unquote individual dealer, but I've had bad experiences with ones in Germany, one in Australia. Yeah. So I mean, it could happen any place, and I know people in the U.S. have had problems with people in the U.S. Tennessee, too good to be true. That's that is a good one. If it's too good to be true, it usually is. It's either stolen or something's wrong with it. Rasher, hi. An ultra rare Omega IO was stolen 10 years ago. Showed up at Bonham's auction this week. In the process of recovering it. You know, Rasher, I'm glad you brought that up because one of the things I with all of my watches, I had all of this information I had on each one of them, and pictures of it and everything else. I put it in a special folder, and then I put them on an external hard drive, a 3 terabyte drive, and the drive went south. So I lost it all, and I have to go and reconstruct it. But I think having really good information on all of your watches and taking pictures of them front and back and everything else is a good precaution of something like that happened to Rasher. Then you see it show up in an auction, and you have some good evidence for it. It's also good for insurance purposes. Okay, let's see. Hi, Stephen. Um, James, let's see. When a seller keeps ignoring specific questions about a condition, but they are answering every other question. Yeah, that's a good one, Hughes. That would be a very good one. If someone's not giving you a straight answer or is evasive, yeah, you wanna stay away from them. Um, By the seller. David, that's a very good one. You buy the seller. It's sometimes so. Hi, Luke. The Sometimes it's really hard though to know the seller until you bought. Then you may be good or may be bad. I prefer researching a watch inside out first and then look for ads from individuals rather than gray market dealers. Dealers put on a huge premium. Um, I don't know. I've dealt with both, and sometimes a dealer has to really get rid of a watch because of their inventory and cash flow problems and things like that. Uh, Individuals, they're the same way. I mean, some of them have to really get rid of it, but I I've had well since I've had good luck with it. Now that doesn't mean everybody's had good luck with dealers. Is that luck is something that has always runs out. Okay, let's see what else you got here. I only bought one online. It is the 2002 Sea Dweller. It checks out all Rolex except the bezel insert, but inserts are $200. Okay. Well, Rive, that's $200 of $200. Whether you're going to fix that or not, I guess it's up to you. I blues for not buying a okay, um, a 5712. Okay, I prefer researching the watch. Okay, you've done that. Okay, see, I had one seller have a last minute episode of honesty. A last minute. So the crystal has a huge scratch on it, right? Right as I was getting ready to send my PayPal payment, just in time. Now, that can be expensive. Buying a watch that's beyond your educational and experience level. You don't learn how to play poker one weekend and step up to the high stakes table the next day. Boy, Clyde, that's a good tip. That's a really good tip, and it's a sensible one too. Is that yeah? It's you tread slowly. Let's see, Stephen. Let's see. The only screwing I have gotten on watches has been self-inflicted. Yeah, picking cheap, crappy watches. Okay, Steve. Yeah, I think we all do that at some time. Um, Always good to check whether the seller is a brick and mortar business. This is what I do too, Luke. Yeah, that is, and then I'll go a lot of times too. I'll go directly to them rather than through Chrono 24. There's reasons to do that, and there are reasons not to do that. Jerome de Marseille, I always ask for seller to open the case to control the movement, and if there's no problem, some don't, so it's a bit difficult. But I don't do the deal in that case. That's a very good practice, Jerome. Um, Miami and Beverly Hills dealers have great deals. I've found the same thing, Turkey Vulture. The Beverly Hill dealers, I really like this. Miami, I've had really good buys from them. Tim, shouldn't buy a watch unless you know as much about it as a seller. You're right, Clyde. That's another good tip. That's exactly right too. I agree. Um, okay, brick and mortar don't matter. They'll still, well, yeah. It was at least you know who you're getting ripped off by, Rive. um, let's see. You also have to try to not to fall in love with a particular one. Oh man, Hughes, that is so true. The I probably made some of the stupidest deals ever because I'm so enamored with a certain watch. I gotta have it, and I'm sort of not thinking too straight sometimes. Hey, Callow, what's up? Sometimes better to be lucky than informed. It's always better to be lucky. It's better to be lucky than rich. Okay, most times it's better to know people who know what they are doing. That's why you're. Oh, thank you. All right. Always check feedback of the seller. Yeah, if there is, what I'm afraid of, Jamie, is the seller, has all of his friends, write these really glowing things about his selling ability. I had uh, a service provider that did that for a website. Hey, Bill, how's it going, man? Um, yeah, watch lust. Um, I hate having to trust people. Uh, it's not always easy, especially with someone you don't know. Okay, check the reputation, Google their address, where they're located. Yeah, that's important. If it's an empty lot, in Brooklyn, watch out, or anywhere else, really. Um, Slow and steady. Yeah, that's true again. Um, as for fine, don't follow the lemmings. No, don't do that. Uh, Fake reviews are a thing. Yeah. Let's see. Truly hard not. Yeah, I know, Bruce. That's true. That's a hard part. I mean, it's there's this one watch that I've been got real itchy fingers to pull the trigger, but I'm waiting. I'm trying to wait them out until I can get a price that I like. And so far so good. But the day before that I'm ready to go, it'll be gone. If you're not sure about the seller, you have to push for something like PayPal. I know it's not too common in the watch world, but you need protection. Yeah, you do. Yeah, always be patient. Patience is true. Patience will that has saved me more times than I can tell you. Okay, think if you see a deal that's too good to be true, it usually is. So yeah, some common sense in that regard. Every now and then you'll get a super good deal. You really will. It's for whatever reason. Sometimes it's because some a dealer especially is stuck with too much inventory and watches he can't sell. And one of the things you can do, and that's what I watch a watch. I've watched watches for a year and they're not selling, and I sort of go in there and keep lowballing it. And so finally the seller is like, well, it's either this guy or I got an expensive doorstop. And that's where patience comes in and persistence. I've lost watches that way. That'll happen too. Sometimes if there's a really good deal, you got to watch it. I like to watch people watching watches. That's just weird, Clyde. Let's see. Slow and steady. Yeah, almost any Gerard Perregaux can be a deal too good. Rasher, yeah, they look that way. I like the Gerard Perregaux. They look like they're a deal that's too good. Same thing is true with Parmigiani, H. Moser, some of my favorite brands, but they really are good. And I bought a Audemars Piguet that was it, it was one I didn't like, but somehow I had to have an Audemars Piguet. It was a very good watch, but it was one that just didn't fit. Uh, so there you have it. You have to like it in the end of the day. You do. Yeah, that's really true. Okay, what else you guys got? Yeah, you're doing fine so far. Suddenly now everyone's quiet. Um, there are tons of amazing deals out there where people are open-minded. Yeah, there are two things: open-minded and informed. If you're that way, I think you can do much better. You can get better watches, you can get better deals, you can get better everything. Um, okay, let's see what you got. Let's see. Not knowing what is truly important and meaningful to you. Clyde, that's another good one. You need to know what you want uh, rather than what somebody else wants. Hey, 24 karat Arabia Felix almost pulled the trigger on a Brigade Type 20 titanium for 5K, but the band was too small. Oh, listen, this is something I got a great deal on a band that was too small, and I'll tell you why. This guy had a watch he was trying to sell. It turned out to be a great watch, and he was an honest person. That was his downfall. And the watch had a missing link in the bracelet because the person who had it needed a smaller bracelet. So he took the link out and either threw it away or lost that link. And so it was like I forgot, it was something like a 6.5 inch wrist would work. Well, nobody wanted the thing, and so I figured, well, heck, I can get a new band. That's not too difficult. So I hit a real low ball on the offer, and he took it because he couldn't sell it because nobody thought, well, oh, gee, if it's got a band that's too small, you you can take bands off and put in new ones, and that's exactly what I did. And I still have the watch, and it was a steal of a deal. So you can find things like that sometimes. Um, Learn your horology before you're making big purchases. You bet, Mark. That is so true. Knowledge is power. That's all we got going for us. Not knowing what is, yeah, and what's important for you. Monsignor Nero, hello everybody. Or hello, Monsignor. Let's see. In case of Europe, visit watch fairs. Ooh, yeah. Yes, yes, that's a good idea. That's a good idea for the US too. Um, Guys like Federico, he goes to some of these, and I've been meaning to do that too, but I haven't yet. The ones I like to go to are like the Watch Time show in New York. That's a lot of fun. Um, a lot of them don't have the papers and the boxes. I've got some of my best watches don't have the boxes and papers. Two things here. One, you need to follow up something like that. By the way, too, before you buy a watch, most good watch companies you can make an inquiry and ask them if it's on any kind of stolen list. On both of my FP Journes, I had them check it out before I bought them, and they were both cleared. So that's a little thing, but if you buy something that turns out to be stolen, I think that one of the guys had that happen. You're gonna they're gonna take it away from you. Oh, let's see what's up. Let's see. I think the worst mistake was after a week of having bought it, I realized I didn't like it. I spent too much. I ended up giving it away to a family member every Christmas. I see him wearing it. Remind you, what? Hey, Milton, how's it going, man? Nate, buying a Panerai without all the paperwork, original receipt, and proof of ownership, along with having a watchmaker open it to confirm authenticity, is asking for trouble. But buying a Pam is a bad idea. Um, I I don't know, man. I like the looks of Panerais. I really do. But for too long they were just messing with the movements and really weren't very clear about it. Apparently now, though, all of the Panerai have in-house movements, and so you might be able to pick up one of the older ones for a song now. That might be an idea if you like Panerai. I like the California Dial, Pam. Yeah, California Dials began with Rolex years ago, and I've got I have a California Dial on a watch I'm making, and the case ended up to be too small for the dial. Sometimes that happens. I got to get a bigger case for it. Okay. Yeah, I don't trust Panerai. 80s won't verify. Use Pam's Reach phones something. Okay, Reach phone. There, my understanding is there's a lot of Russian oligarch money in Richmond. In fact, they may own it. So it's just sort of an interesting aside. Um, Not a Pam Pam. Okay, you guys don't like Panerai. Some do. Like I said, I now search information about fake watches before buying. Do you have any resources about that? I don't. Um, Fake watches. I know about stolen watches. You can usually go to the dealer. Like if you buy a Rolex, I think they have a database of stolen Rolexes and things like that. But in terms of fake watches, man, there's so many out there that it's just there's certain brands like Rolex. They like to make a lot of fake Rolexes. Apparently, they do the same thing with Panerai. Um, there are super fakes. Even the jewelers have difficulty. Yeah, that's another thing too. Some of the fakes are so good. I think See, this is one of the problems, and I think the problem is not only with Panerai, but Cartier, um, all of the different watch companies that use ETAs, because all you got to do is make a fake case and then drop in drop into it. Like Breitling has all of these watches that have ETAs in it, and they got some phony baloney name for them that's like a B52 or something like that. And so, if someone's going to fake it, they can make a copy or they can copy the case and the dial and put in a real ETA, which is exactly what what Breitlings have. So I think they sort of shoot themselves in the foot for, phoning those things up. Um, yeah, fakes have got so good. Yeah, they're very good. Not just AC3 saying that watch manager at Wimpy's in Manhattan told me that. Well, what is it? Let me see. The Panerai was hot for some time. Yeah, it was. Always be extra careful with popular watches. That's true. Okay, let's see what it is. People think people need to stop blaming Richemont on that. It's AC3 misconception. Reality is that ADs won't authenticate because most of them don't have the knowledge. Uh, Hughes, yep, that's a good point. It really is. Um, Not just AC3s. Fakes. Let me see what else. A lot of fake tutors by Blackberries. That's interesting. Now that they make Rolex clone movements, you'll see some ADs stop authenticating them because a lot of ADs just don't have the knowledge. It's because they just don't have ability to do it. It's not a nefarious plan. Hughes, though, I tell you, a lot of them have been involved up to their earlobes and sort of a gentleman's agreement to rip off collectors or just any buyers. And to me, if it comes back and bites them in the bottom, it's they had it coming. Uh, a lot of people don't even have a horology specialist. That's true. Um, Advantage of Panerai is that only enthusiasts collect them. Panerai fans community is small and friendly and practically troll free. Okay, Luke. Nefarious plan. They don't want to verify used pieces. They want to sell you a new one with no discount. That is true. Um, Pretty sure the AD, yeah, they want to sell everything, I think. Um, Rolex ADs used to simply open up the case and spot the magenta gears, close it up and say, yeah, it's authentic. That's interesting, Hughes. Okay. Now this was a must-have status. Okay. Anyway, we. I want to thank everybody again. It's under the gun again for time, and the mighty rolling pin is my timer on this. So anyway, thanks everybody, and I really liked your comments. By the way, too, if you have any other ideas or something comes to mind, or you hear about something, put it in the comments section. Okay, that's gonna be around either on this one or the one that we had on Friday. Okay, is a double-edged sword. Yeah, it's cheaper and easier to get service, but not highly regarded. There's some good ones. Anyway. Well, listen. Thanks again. Oh, tomorrow, yeah, we got an interesting one tomorrow. I think you're gonna like. It's very different collection review. So, and it's an affordable one. That's the big thing about it. Take care.